along the presentation. Okay, so as we can see, basics of data and data acquisition, and its subtitle is From Everyday Decision to Better Outcome. So it relates to data, decision, outcomes, everything. Okay. So if I talk about the session goal, what are you going to learn with us today, or what are we going to, talk about today? So session goal is basically to understand about the data concepts, right? And connect the data to the daily academic task. That why are you using data? What all academic tasks that you do with the data, right? Everything we are going to cover. We are going to understand the various data type because not every data is same, right? Data changes and its types also changes. Then we will understand or we will talk about how we can acquire a right data in a right way. But all of these we are going to do with engaging hands-on activities. So I will be asking you a few questions, but these questions are not going to test you or judge you. These questions are related to your experiences. So whatever you feel, whatever you do in your day-to-day life, you can answer me. And on the basis of that, we can understand the concept. Is that okay with everyone? Yeah. So
Yes.
I want all of you to answer. I can see one or two people who are giving me some acknowledgement, but I want people to be, engaged in the session. Okay, so look at the slide. First slide talks about decision. So can you see that what this slide is talk about? It is asking you, think about your last semester or last year, whatever you had, right? And just see these sentences that are written here. Okay, so it is asking you which of these decisions required explanation or justification in the last semester. So I'll read one of the sentence and you can just think in your mind that, okay, did I do this in my last semester? Okay. So for example, first sentence is allowing a student to appear for exam due to attendance. It can be attendance shortage. It means if your student, maybe you had encountered a problem where student had attendance shortage, but you let him sit him in the exam, right? Second scenario, adjusting internal marks. Have you ever adjust internal marks of a student or a class? Third, responding to negative student feedback. Have you taken any decision where you responded to negative student feedback? Right. Fourth, defending result patterns in moderation. It means, for example, if some of the class or some of the students have not performed well in the exam, have you defended that scenario to external committee or any college committee, right? Just think about this scenario. Have you encountered these scenarios in your semester or maybe in your classes, whatever you are doing, right? Think about that. Or maybe you can write any scenario that has happened with you and you took decision on the basis of that. Can you put those any one word sentence, right? Okay, you have allowed student, you have adjusted internal marks, you have took decision related to feedback, or you have took decision related to result pattern. Can you write something in the chat, or you can also say or unmute yourself? I can see the chat as well. So I have seen somebody has written they have allowed student in the mark exams. Very good. Yes, I have encountered the first situation. Considering his medical issue, we management allowed him to appear for exam. Very good, Priya ma'am. You have also given me one scenario and I can take use of it and make you understand that why I'm asking this question. Right, some of you, Dr. Mandadi Kavita has written, adjusted internal marks. Okay, so you people, it means that many of you are encountering these problems and you are basically deciding on the basis of that. So these are the decisions that you are taking. You can, if you are a faculty, you have the power, you are allowing a student, you are adjusting internal marks, you are maybe taking some decision based on the feedback, and you are basically talking about the result patterns, right? All of this is happening in our college in our day-to-day life, right? These are the decision that we are doing. So just keep these in this slide in mind that this is a decision that I am doing. Okay, so I'll move to the next slide. So we have basically seen in the last slide that, okay, I have worked with the decision, I have took the decision, but how, right? So maybe as per one, I have seen one reply where she has mentioned, ma'am has mentioned that she has allowed a student to sit in exam based on what? The medical record. It means she needs something to validate that decision. She needs some data or information which she can present to the committee that, okay, this student has genuine problem and that is recorded in the medical history or medical certificate of the student. On the basis of that, she took a decision. So decision always require a information. You cannot rely on your feeling that I feel like, you cannot say that like that, right? That I feel my student is good, let him sit in the exam. You cannot say that, right? So you require information, and on the basis of that information, you can ask your student to, or you can decide related to any scenario that you have encountered. So, for example, if I have a scenario, maybe some of you have said that they have allowed student to sit in the exam. So, what information they require? They require attendance percentage of the student, right? It can be obviously lower, it will be short attendance. So, in order to ask him to sit in the exam, we require external information, right? What is the problem that he had? For example, in this case, he had medical issue. He presented the valid certificate and you asked him to sit in the exam. So basically, what we make use of, we had data, we had information. On the basis of that, we took our decision. So decision always need information. Does this make sense? Yes, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am, it does. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So understand that because you people, because today we are talking about data, right? I'm not going to use any tool and technology, but I want to ensure that conscious, because sometimes we feel that, okay, why do we study this data and data analytics and why are we doing all this? But you are already using this, you are already doing this, but you are not naming that, right? You are using data, you are using information, you are analyzing that information, and you are taking the decision. You are doing everything, right? But you are not naming that. So you are already a pro. So we are just moving you in a direction so that you also consciously understand that, okay, I am doing already these things in my life, but how to improve on the things. If I'm not doing, how I can improve on that. Great. Understood or not?
Yes, ma'am.
So similarly for the other scenarios as well, if you want to scale marks after evaluation, you can see the average marks of your class. On the basis of that, you can give some relaxation to your students. Changing teaching method based on feedback. This is the third scenario, means this decision you as a faculty can take. For example, you are you basically ask student to fill the feedback form and they have given you some feedback, right? You analyze those feedback and you took the decision that, okay, if they are not understanding in English or in any other language, and if they are comfortable in Hindi, let me also use Hindi in my class. I'm just giving you one example, right? It can be any decision that you can take. So you are basically taking a decision based on the data that you have, right? And where this information or data is recorded, it can be recorded anywhere. You can record it in form, you can record it in Excel, you can record it in offline mode, but obviously it is always recommended to record it in online mode, because obviously with the help of online mode, with the help of technology, you can easily analyze things quickly. Okay, great. Can we move to the next slide, or do we have any question here? Can I move to the next?
Ma'am, it's
Yes.
clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I have seen that somebody has written, we also propose changes in syllabus on the basis of stakeholders' feedback. Yeah, that's right. Right? You have the record of feedback. You are getting that information, and you are taking the decision, right? So it is happening. Great. So I hope that my pace is okay. Is it too fast, too slow, or is it okay for everybody to understand?
It's okay for us to understand.
Okay, ma'am.
That's great.
It's
Now,
okay.
okay, thank you so much. Now we understand that, okay, whatever decision that we are making in our day-to-day life, for that we need data, and we also call it information. When data is processed, it is called information. When data has meaning, it is information, right? So if I formally want to give definition to data, taking you in the picture, that is academic things in the picture, how can I define that? So data is any information, means data when it is processed, it becomes information that you use to justify, explain, or defend an academic decision. As I have given you one example earlier, that if you have a medical record of a student, you can use your decision to allow that student to sit in an exam with the help of that information of medical records. So you can justify that, okay, this student was really sick, right? You can explain that why did he not come in the classes. You can defend that, okay, his past performance was better and this semester he is basically not well, but I want him to sit in the exam based on all these parameters, right? So basically data is anything that help you to explain your decision to the higher management or anybody whom you want to convince, whether it is a parent, HOD, management, or anything, right? So example of data is can be attendance percentage. It can be a attendance percentage of a student. It can be average marks of a class. It can be a feedback summary as well, right? So if anybody asks you that what kind of information are you using in your day-to-day life, you can obviously list all these examples. Great. Easy, right? Okay, then let's move to the next activity. This activity is called data landscape. So just look at the slide. Don't look on these 5 particular points. Just ignore that. They are not there, right? Just look at the first sentence. List your semester data. Think of one semester and list 5 items of data. It means, for example, if you basically, because you are faculty, you deal with students, right? You have so many records of students. Just write in the chat that what all records you store in your day-to-day duties, right? What all records related to data or related to students you store as per part of your duties. I have also given you some example, like it can be related to attendance or assessment, but you think of what data you are already storing. Just forget about the example. You think what all data you are storing. It can be a textual data, it can be a numerical data, anything. So I am waiting for another 1 minute. I want many of you, every one of you, to mention 5 things that they are storing as part of their duty. I'll open the chat and see your responses. Okay. Notes, to work done, diary, emails, student happy that every one of you is writing here, and this is what we want, right? Because in that way you can relate the topic that is being mentioned here with your duties, because in the end of the day, outcome of the fellowship is how you can use this knowledge in your day-to-day work life, right? So yes, most of you have written attendance. Attendance, I think, got many awards. Class performance, daily complaints, assignments, emails. I have seen emails written by, mentioned by many of the faculties, and semester feedback, internal marks. Very good. So from this, I understood that whatever is basically you people are doing, right? You are teaching to your student, that is your priority. But in addition to that, because you also need to understand how your class is doing, how your student is performing, what changes you need to do. For all of this, you are also collecting so much of information, right? But have you ever thought that whatever information I'm collecting, can I actively use that information to take a decision or can I not? Okay. So whatever you have mentioned in your chat or whatever you have thought in your mind, just think Don't answer me, just think. For example, if I talk about attendance register, so just think that, okay, I am obviously recording attendance every day. Am I taking any decision based on that? Okay. You can also think internal marks. I am capturing internal marks in the Excel. Am I doing any decision making out of this? I'm taking feedback. Can I proactively, or do I basically take any active decision based on the feedback? Assignment scores, student emails or complaint. Maybe you are getting complaints. Are you taking any decision based on that? So you know yourself, right? So some of the parameters or some of the items that are mentioned here, we are actively using those items for decision making. And I'm very sure most of you are using attendance, right? Actively to decide whether the student is eligible to appear for examination or not, right? But I am confused with feedback or complaints. Sometimes it also happens with us, right? Sometimes we take that complaint of the student, but we rarely review that complaint. Maybe we are so busy with other things, it's not our fault, but sometimes we forget about it or may delay it. Or there is another thing as well, because for attendance, it's pure math, right? You are just calculating the average and you are going to understand that, okay, this student is eligible or not. But if I talk about feedback or complaint, you need to first interpret that. You need to first understand and then you can take the decision. Means it will take time, right? So out of this, I think if I am a faculty, I can actively use what all thing I can use. I will be using attendance register because it will give me obviously decision in 1 minute. I'll just calculate the average and I'll get to know the eligibility. I can use internal marks, right? Whether the student is basically passing the internal criteria or not. Maybe I will delay feedback responses and student complaints and email, and I can also use assignment score as it is, right? So there are few things, means we collect so many things, but we use few and we don't use few, right? Based on what is our priority nowadays or maybe today. Okay. So just understand or maybe take it with you that, okay, today I collected so many things, but why did I do that? Because I'm not making use of it, right? So it's a thought that you can basically think about you and how you are collecting data and why you are collecting data. Okay. Is it clear? Any question here, any feedback or anything that you want to add from your experience in addition to what I basically talked about? Clear? No question? Okay. Is it boring or are you finding it engaging? Is it
Actually,
what?
ma'am, some of the things we do it, we give it to our admin officer to do it, like attendance management. Of course,
Yeah.
feedback we do consider, but many of the things have been done by the other personnel. So we can relate to it, but at the same time, not really into it.
Yes.
Not
I
neither
can
we modulate marks.
Mm-hmm. Great, great. That's very good observation and very good thing that she has brought, because I can also understand that many of the things we don't directly do, but understand that we are still making use of that, right? If I have a student, I should know that, okay, what is the attendance percentage? Maybe we are maintaining the attendance or not maintaining the attendance. Maybe LMS is doing for us, but anyhow, we are taking the decision out of it, right? And even you can also, if you know about these things, you can also give feedback to your administration that these things can be done in that way, right? So I just use these example because it should relate to you, right? I can use maybe sales example, but it won't be relatable to you. Is it clear that why we have put all these things? Okay. Yes, yes, Preeti ma'am, you are right. So this is my observation. You can obviously put your experiences in addition to it, right? Because obviously you know many examples related to your experiences. Maybe I know few, right? So as per my observation, I have tried to keep it very relatable to you. This is just to make you understand that what is happening and why is it happening, right? Obviously, you can take this knowledge and you can apply it to other things as well. You are feel free to obviously explore the things and expand the knowledge. Okay, I hope that makes sense, and let's move forward. As I told you in the previous slide, there are few things that we collect, but we don't make use of it, right? Why? Why some data fails us, right? We do have data, but we are not doing anything. But why it is happening? Because we have observed, even I have observed pattern, that sometime we have format, we do have some compliance related thing that we need to do, right? We collect the data related to, for example, somebody has told me to collect the feedback because it is necessary for audit or something, but I'm not making use of that. I'm just storing it for the purpose of storing it, right? Or maybe I have reviewed that feedback once, but I later forgot about that feedback. Okay, I told the student to fill the feedback, right? I have reviewed it like in half an hour, but I have not taken any insight out of it. That what this is talking about. What should I do about this, right? And then maybe I'm not comparing things across semester. I had the class performance from previous semester. I do have class performance from this semester, but I'm not comparing it. I think that why should I do that? I'm just collecting it, but I'm not doing any decision making out of it, right? And sometimes some of the data that we are collecting is so messy, so difficult that we are not able to interpret it. And we have so much tasks to do. Why should I give 10 hours to interpret the data? Right? This is the first thought that comes to us, and it's not too much of priority for us. It means that we are collecting so many things, but we are basically not using everything for decision making. And if we have a data, we are not making use of it, it's failing us. What is the use of that? We are just using it for record purposes, compliance purposes, or any other thing that is required to be done by you. Is it happening with any one of you? Has it ever happened?
Yes, it
ma'am.
happens. A lot of times for some administrative work, we are just supposed to collect data, and then we are not processing the data, but just for record purposes, for administrative purposes, we are supposed to have that with us.
Yes. Very good
I
answer.
also
Ma'am, I
want
would like
to
to
add
say something here.
something.
Yes.
Like
I
similarly,
hope I'm audible.
Yes, Gagan ma'am. Yes, Gagan ma'am.
Okay. I think,
You are not audible to me properly. Is it with me?
ma'am, can we say that for purpose the academic institution collecting data? Am I
Sorry,
audible, ma'am?
not properly audible. Can you rephrase your
Am I
question?
audible, ma'am?
It's breaking, ma'am. Your voice is breaking. What you can do, you can mention your query in the chat. I can read from there if it is helpful.
Okay, I was saying that, uh, ma'am, I was saying, say, for example, for NAC purposes, the academic institutions are collecting data. But I think that data is not basically used anywhere. Say, for example, it is only collected for compliance. Now, many LT members or students for the purpose of giving it to NAC. I don't